Today's hard truth is, and I'll quote my friend Brandon, it's not that people don't see or hear you. It's just they're just not into what it is you're saying right now. You might want to figure out how to say it to get their attention. And that is why we're here today.
Curious what business owners are doing to double revenue, have more cash flow, work less hours, and provide a better lifestyle for their family? Dive into the world of business growth that leads to guaranteed wealth. Your hosts, Dr. Laura Schwalek and Jerry Kazaya. Grow and get answers to your business and investment questions that provide clarity, move you forward, and inspire you to reach your goals.
Welcome to
Yes,
this
sir.
edition of the Business Builders Intensive. My name is Dr. Laura Schwalek, and my co-host is Jerry Kazaya. We have a special marketing genius with us here today. We have Brandon Welch, and would you please tell us a little about, who are you, what qualifies you for me to say that you are a marketing genius, because I really do believe you are. So just tell us, get everyone acquainted with you.
You're going to find out today that that genius is actually very simple if that's the qualification you gave our content. But we're okay with that. We take the chaotic world of marketing and all of the dollars that are wasted with very good intentions, and we bring those down to a very simple method and order of operations, so that business owners can confidently grow without wasting that precious dollar on advertising. Our research confirmed what we have known to be true for years, and that's that 8 out of 10 small business owners who are advertising are not confident that it's working for them. 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
That was the research we conducted with about 1,100 business owners across America, and it's like, what product in history would continue to live with an 8 out of 10 dissatisfaction rating?
Not
And
many.
so that is the
The Weather Channel. The Weather Channel.
Hey, weather. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, because tomorrow always comes. But
and we didn't have to pay for the weather. It's just kind of
yeah, that's right. They didn't have to pay for it.
But we're paying for our marketing.
We are paying for marketing.
Bleep, bleep, bleep. I want it to work.
Yeah, and yeah, that is what happens every day in our conference room is that we are meeting with the heroes of America, the small business owners, the entrepreneurs who are certain that they can do things in a good and noble way for their community and their group of people they wish to serve. It's just that it never quite works out when they go to put that dollar in the machine to get that desired next step of business. So I have a unique perspective in this. I grew up in a couple of family businesses. And just my natural interest allowed me to be the marketing kid and then eventually the marketing guy for a multi-million-dollar service business in the automotive space. Jerry, we could have a lot to talk about. And at a crucial period of growth where we were expanding that business, we had a catastrophic event known as 2008, and it just took the wind out of our sails at the exact wrong time. And I thought that advertising would save it, and I thought we could market our way through that problem. And it ended in about a decade of despair for my family. And so I saw firsthand what it was like to have to either write the paycheck for your next employee or contemplate, do you put that more into marketing? And I've seen that play out for dozens of small business owners who were just trying to make the jump, trying to make the leap, trying to make their thing happen. And it pissed me off. Obviously we had a lot to lose, or we did lose a lot. I was a defeated marketer, but the door that opened for me was going right into the opposite side of that equation, which was selling advertising. And I did that for not very long before I figured out exactly why it wasn't working. And that's that. Here's another hard truth for you. Most of the marketing professionals in America are trained very well to sell their product.
Yeah.
Astoundingly few of them are trained how to make it work.
Yes.
Amen. That is you.
Yep.
If you get, folks, if you get nothing else from this session, take that to heart. They're really good at selling the ads, but the ads usually don't function.
Yeah.
I learned that golly, we had an award-winning marketing campaign. The gal that put it all together, like she won national awards, and it never made the phone ring one time.
Mm,
It's like,
yeah,
okay,
probably creativity over clarity.
yes.
There's a lot
And
of frustration. Sorry, Brandon, for interrupting.
yeah,
There's a lot of frustration in the small business world regarding marketing. And one of the things that Jerry and I teach is that the business owner cannot let go of marketing completely. You
Mhm.
must keep an eye on that. You must, it's your voice.
Yeah.
yeah.
The business is your baby.
No one can talk about the business the way a passionate owner can talk about it.
But yet at the same time, it's kind of a double-edged sword because I'm not a marketer. I was a doctor. I didn't know anything about marketing, and I certainly didn't know anything about telling, like, other than being
Well,
passionate about what I do, but
well,
it's
you know,
probably sounded like
you know,
gobbledygook to someone else.
you know way more about marketing than you think. Actually, a doctor is probably the closest example I could give to the right way of doing things. Because what does a doctor do? A doctor listens. A doctor studies. A doctor puts a tremendous amount of thought and effort into the solution that they provide, and that's what's missing
Mm.
in the equation of I am an owner with a business that needs to grow, and there is a platform of which I can megaphone my message on. There is not a third party in that room for most small business owners, even 50 to $100 million revenue companies. You have to get really sophisticated and have a big marketing department before you have somebody institutionally who's like, it's their job to say, but is it true? And
Mm.
their job to protect and guard that message and listen and do what a doctor does and diagnose um, to an emotional level what the person on the other end of that megaphone needs. And that's what's missing. It's not that the platforms don't reach people, they all do. It's not that the targeting and the technology isn't amazing, it all is. It's that we're loading our gun with blanks at large with small business marketing in America, and there's
Mm.
not that diagnostic steward going, yeah, but what do they actually need? Media is the tossing the prescription at the underlying problem, which is very seldom that they need to hear more noise about your name. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. And we talk about that. We talk about the three M's. You have to have the right message, you have to have the right media, and you have to have the right market. If
Mm,
any of your marketing is
I
going to
like that.
function, like for me, I'm older, clearly oldest one in the group here, right? I
Oh,
still like
you wear
I
it well.
still like to have something tangible that I can hang on to,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Something that I can actually read and yeah,
You would an astounding number of very young people younger than anybody in this room. There's a resurgence of printed and authentic things. But sorry, I didn't mean to
no,
steal
that's
the mic
that's
from
good
you.
to know because what we've
What
heard,
age group is that?
Uh, you see Gen Z, you see a lot of resurgence. This is just my own impression and observation, but it's got to be true. I said it on a podcast. It's got to be true. I see a lot of my kids. Frankly, I mean they're in the you know they're about to be teenagers, and I see them just like ditching screens and having just an affinity for printed, authentic things. They love books. They love things that are real and tangible, just like you. And I think there's a secret hunger in our culture for that.
that's really interesting because there's a huge resurgence in vinyl records.
Mm.
It's
Yes,
really amazing. I
same
mean,
thing. Yeah.
everybody said, "Oh, the record industry is dead," blah blah blah. They did like half a billion dollars last year in vinyl sales.
Dude, I'll give you another one. My 8-year-old has been begging, and we finally did it the other day. He's been begging for weeks for a analog radio, analog handheld radio. And just
Wow.
the concept of him not having a screen on it and him being able to plug in his headphones and tune it to some random music. He's like, other people pick the music. I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's so cool. And I'm like, see what I'm talking about? So,
Yeah,
so we bought him a handheld radio. So many of my media friends are going to be proud. And I'm like, radio's coming back.
I think it is. And what we've learned is the digital sound is not as clean and clear
Hmm.
as vinyl.
It's
So
missing some artifacts.
Yeah.
It's missing
back to
some
marketing
shape.
for a moment. I have a question.
Sorry,
Yeah.
that was a rabbit hole. My bad.
I have a question. Okay, so I get that the hard truth is they see you, like if I'm the business, they see me, they hear me, but they're not interested in what I'm saying. How do we get
Mm.
to how do we make it match? How do we have them see us, hear us, and be interested in what we're saying? Or how do we make what we're saying interesting to them? I guess maybe that's a better question.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first thing I would say is anybody in the equation needs to spend all the time it takes to clearly define vision, values, and vows. That's the language and the framework we use here. And if there's a person touching the campaign that does not understand the heart of that business owner, which can be encapsulated in the vision that he or she sees when she goes to market, why did he or she do that? What were they pissed off at? What were they certain that could be done a better way? That's the vision. That is the force that will take you to the moon if you can just capture it. And most business owners can feel it, and most of them have it, especially if they're in the entrepreneurial vein and they went out on their own. They were mad at some boss or some corporation they worked for or some missing thing in the marketplace, but they've long forgotten that. All the hats they wore just covered that up. And we as advertising professionals, not me or my team these days, but I was in the industry that has long forgotten how to do that. And if you look at the greats, if you look at the Ogilvies, just the greatest ad writers of all time, I would include our friend Roy, and they're like every single one of them will tell you, you've got to study that person, and it's often 2, 3, 4, 5 hours into a dialogue that we don't have a roadmap for, but that the thing comes out. It's the origin story, and so people read 6, 7, 800-page novels all the time. Because they're interesting, right? There's no such thing as too long or too short. There's only too boring. And the person who is selling the advertising honestly has a time window where they need to get that ad live, and so they rush through that process because they're not compensated nor trained, nor probably aware of how important it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would just say spend a tremendous amount of time, if you are the advertiser, with someone who is good at taking big things and making them simple. Take your big thing, take your life story, take your why, take that initial conversation you had with your wife or your business partner or that one customer that just put you over the edge, and encapsulate that into what they're actually trying to make happen and why. We all know the Simon Sinek book, Start with Why, right?
Mm-hmm.
People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And so when people can see that heart, that is the essence of a good human conversation. That's the essence of every meaningful relationship. If the person you're sitting across from is authentic or imposter.
Mm-hmm.
And people know that secretly by the cadence and the things you decide to say in your ads.
We know
And
that
so,
from the book Blink.
yeah, yes,
You
yes,
instinctively know whether or not this is real.
that's right.
Yeah.
And it's happening. That 8 out of 10, companies that are so unenthused with the feeling they're getting from their ads, it's because they're putting that out there. The 2 out of 10 that are confident are accidentally or on purpose, hopefully, engineering, we'll say, their ads to do just a little bit louder version of what would be done in real life. And so vision, values, and vows. What world are you trying to create? What values do you hold? What will you always do no matter what? What will you never do no matter what? These are important. When people start hearing these things come out of your mouth in your language, not some ad speak, polished up, institutionalized, copy that you'd see on any, TV station right now in America, some manufactured script. But if you say it in the way you say it, or maybe the way your grandpa said it, or maybe in the way that your 5-year-old said it to you, unpredictable words, unpredictable, personalized ways that you talk about what's important to you, people bond with that.
Mm-hmm.
Your audience will begin to see you as real. And then the resultant emotional sum of all of these things you put in your ads become not just more noise on the radio or the TV or another ad I can skip past with a thumb. they become, wow, that's a person. That's a Jerry. I like Jerry. I've never met Jerry, but I feel like I know Jerry. And we can't tell you exactly why we like Jerry. But these collective ways that Jerry has talked to us and this mass media, this overcrowded world, they cut through like a knife. And we store those things to long-term memory. And it gives us a feeling of trust. It gives us a feeling of, man, if I walk into Jerry's place, I at least know what that guy stands for. And I think I'm like Jerry. And that's the secret thing that all business owners want, just very few understand how to accomplish. And it starts with taking more time with a skilled person to pull that out of you and put that on paper. And then I'll add one more thing. Then it comes down to the courage for you to do things that don't sound exactly polished. We live in a world of noise and predictability. The most recent study I'm aware of was in 2009 that uncovered that the average American sees over 5,000 marketing messages per day, and that was in 2009. And we know it's bonkers more than that now. Yeah. And so the few things that we do store, the few things that do cut through and earn our attention, humanity, authenticity. I think this is why record players are resurging. We want things that are real. And record players are actually not perfect. Now, people who admire that sonic quality can say, oh, it's better. And it is better, but it feels different because it's actually imperfect. The imperfections require a business owner who probably wants to see themselves as like polished and slicked up and like corporate, because that's professional and nobody will make fun of them that way. Those are the exact ones that get ignored. So you have to have the courage to put that out there.
It's the hiss of the needle scratching across the vinyl that it just resonates in your bones.
And it's unpredictable, right? Yeah. It's things that have imperfections to them in an unpredictable pattern. Those are things the brain can't quite ignore.
It's like what you're saying is when it's a little bit imperfect, just like us, it makes it more believable, that's like builds trust. There's some trust there because it's not so perfect.
It's the Google reviews. If every one that you have is a 5-star review, people blow it off and think it's bullshit.
Yeah, right? That's right.
When you throw in a couple 1 or 2 or 3,
you want a crazy Karen in there.
You do. You absolutely do. And you have to respond to that and say, I'm sorry, we can't help everyone. And that's reality, right? You can't please everybody.
And in that moment of the 4.8 star, the 3 stars from the crazies, the person because we all do it, scroll down to let's see what the 1-star reviews say. Yeah. They go, oh, that poor guy, poor Jerry. Why are you attacking my friend like that? I've never even been to your business. And I'm going, I feel for this guy, right?
Yeah.
So
that's wonderful.
Yeah. The same is true. There's not a character in history, hero. Every designed hero by Hollywood has a secret demon. They have a little bit of like thing they have to overcome, and that's what makes us love them.
Yeah.
I have another question for you, Brandon. So many of our coaching clients for business builders in our mentor mastermind group, they say, oh, I did this marketing campaign and it worked really well, and then it just petered out. Can you speak to that?
Yeah. So that language probably indicates that they were participating in some sort of a transactional pull.
Say more about
usually when people are talking about I tried it and it worked really good and it stopped working, it usually means that they intercepted a group of people who happened to need what they needed at that moment, and they were saying they give a very short time window to either the call to action or the offer, which is an appropriate thing to do for part of your marketing. But they're measuring the effectiveness of that in a 1 to 2 or 3 week period. They spent the money. I swiped my credit card. I wrote the check. And how many customers ran in and said they were just waiting for my ad to appear in their mailbox or across their screen? It can happen. It can particularly happen if you have an underserved audience and you offer them the right thing at the right place and time. And then you do it again 3 weeks later to the same group of people. And it's like, well, you already got the ones that needed it right now. And not enough. We haven't moved far enough around the sun for them to happen to need an oil change again, or a new set of tires again, or a new refrigerator, or an HVAC service, or a roof. And so in that way, that is why we have our method is that only 30% of the time in the most well-optimized campaigns, only 30% of the time are we asking for that call to action. And that sounds like some people I just lost a bunch of people because they're going, well, if I don't have a call to action, then what do I have? You are building the know, like, and trust factor. 70% of the time, you are doing what we call tomorrow marketing. You are earning tomorrow's customer long before your competitor or anybody else's stupid offer gets them at the finish line. You are walking with them 10 miles before they need you, so that when they suddenly do, they go, Jerry's my guy. Jerry's real. You know what? Jerry hasn't been pestering me to come into his shop, but I like the way he says that. And Jerry's a good campaign for Jerry would be that he's a little bit funny, or he's a little bit serious, or he's a little bit consistently odd, in a way that makes us pay attention and then fall in love with his persona. And then during seasonal times, we would advocate the best time to do an offer is when there's a lot of people naturally buying. So HVAC units are about to come on in America, air conditioners. So it'd be a great time to have an offer to get people in your system if you're an HVAC company. Air conditioners about to come on in cars. It'd be a great time to do that. So go ahead and send the postcard. Go ahead and do your 30% transactional marketing there. But in the weeks and months in between, 70% of your efforts should be on making people like you and find you memorable.
I read that when you do a marketing campaign, less than 3% of your market actually need what you're offering at the time. So if you're out there expecting huge, people running into your business with their hair on fire, you're setting yourself up for a huge disappointment.
That's right. So that's probably a good common average, but it really is dependent on the category.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take roofing. That's a category we work in a lot. And let's say that you could find the trades would have a range that it's between 15 and 20 years when a roof needs replaced. But let's just say that it's 20 years. So I take 1 divided by 20. And in a year's time, that means 5% of humanity, of homeowners, could potentially need a roof. Now, is it going to surge in big storm years? Yes. Is it going to be a little less in non-storm years? Yes. But on average, 5%. So let's take that 5%, let's divide that by 12 months. Guess what? I've got 4 1/1000ths of a percent of 4 100ths of a percent of people who need a roof right now. And let's divide that into 4 weeks per month. And when you know it, I've got 1/100th of a percent of people that need a roof right now. And so literally this week, if I say, I'm a roofer, let me do your roof, and that's my message, and that's as far as my message goes. And what most people do in that scenario is they hire some random voice actor and they shout like it's the end of time and it's the only time to replace your roof. And statistically, and what we just mathematically confirmed is that 99.99%, that's not hyperbole, that's legit, found that message to be irrelevant. And if we do nothing else to make them like us, remember us, find us somehow endearing, then that is the exact moment when the ad maximizes in its value delivery. And 99% of them didn't find it valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
and then when you extrapolate those numbers,
and
let's say you live in a town of 200,000, and you're in the roofing business, and you are at 1/100th of a percent.
Yeah, it's single digits, man. It's single digits at any given time that even need the roof,
right?
And then you're relying on, okay, well, what is the biggest, baddest advertising plan reach? Like if you were on the Super Bowl, you would reach 50% of the people, and so everything else is a small fraction of that audience. Like that's the biggest audience you're going to get at any given time. And so
this sounds kind of depressing. Just say like this is depressing. Lift us up, Brandon.
Well, let me tell you about the roofer, or the roofers who win. And there's a couple that have literally 20x'd in size since we have started working with them, and they understand this math, and so that allows them to emotionally separate their measurement from reality. Most business owners want to measure something that's just not in reality. They want to measure their imaginative thing that could happen. But we work with some really smart people, and they know, okay, well, not very many people just need a dadgum roof today, even in a town of 1 million people, a market of 1 million people. And so what we do instead is we say, there's a bunch of knuckleheads shouting and screaming at the finish line, and they're just as disappointed in their result as you would be, but they're going to go ahead and keep on doing it because nobody else has a better idea. But what if we make people silently in their sleep smile when they hear your name? And so we write, we for a lot of them, we write jingles that are just infectiously memorable. And they're like little cartoony jingles. And they're stupid. There's nothing tangible or informative about them. They say the name and they whistle. And actually, in a lot of our campaigns, we'll even make the owners little cartoons that dance around and swing hammers and birds are chirping. And it's like, guess who loves those ads? Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, okay, here's some other knucklehead screaming at me, shouting at me. And then here comes 30 seconds in their day where it's like just this burly, goofy guy on roof dancing. And then there's this song I can't get out of my head for the next 12 hours. And we do that every day, 4 or 5 times a day, in the same place to the same people, to about 150,000 people a week. And guess what happens every week? A few more of those 150,000 people who have long been singing and smiling at my client happen to wake up and need a roof. The leak they didn't see coming, the storm they didn't see coming. And before they even reach for their phone to punch in roofer near me, I've already won.
Yeah.
I've already won because they want to do business with my guy. And on top of that, in that example, the kids are in the backseat singing this jingle. We have it all over YouTube. I mean, the examples I'm talking about, there's a few of them we've done that way, have memorable phrases. They have, you don't have to do it with cartoons. It's just what we did in that example, but you could be yourself. You could just have a funny way that you finish your ad, like, come on down. I mean, it could just be something stupid and simple you do all the time, but you find people repeating that. And what you have done is you have bought hundreds of thousands of little mini advertising voices in your community, speaking up for you before you ever had to pay another dollar at the finish line for the customer. That's what we do with 70% of our money. Now, the other 30, the other 30, you bet we are the first one to find on search engines.
Yeah.
And you bet when they get to that website, it is extremely easy for them. It takes seconds for them to be in connection with us to do something about their problem. But the magic was that they looked for us first.
Yes.
When Jerry was doing a lot of radio commercials, the radio announcer would always call him Uncle Jerry. And so she would say, call Uncle Jerry at the auto shop. And Jerry would then say,
beep, beep.
And that's enough, dude. And somebody is going, but what did what did you tell them about your combined years of experience? How are they going to know to use you? And it's like, when it's news, say it. When it's not news, sing it. Or act it, or beep it like you just did.
Yeah, I would call in the radio, and she'd get on the phone. She says, "Hey, Uncle, it's Uncle Jerry from the auto shop. Tell us what's happening at the auto shop today." And I'd tell him a story about this crazy car experience, and then she'd give the address and the phone number, and we'd say, "Okay, bye bye," and I go beep beep. Right, I got more hits out of that than
I bet you still do.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what do we do there? We took this mystical, manufactured business owner saying, I have the best service and the best prices that nobody believed anyway, and we turned him into something that everybody has and loves, which is their uncle. Their funny, goofy, a little bit unpolished uncle, and you were that guy.
I am definitely
the surrogate
goofy and unpolished.
And what a beautiful thing. And that's the currency, man. Like, if more business owners would just do that, and all of their goofiness and all of their lumps and quirks, and just do that, and then they screwed up the other half of the equation, it would work twice as good as it is right now.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun with our marketing. We do. We have a Jerry and Dr. Laura YouTube channel for the auto shop, and it's amazing. We'll be in restaurants and people go, "I love your show." It's like, do I know you?
I brought my client one time.
And you become grocery store famous. And when you're grocery store famous, it's all over, man. Your competitors don't have a fighting chance. A national person can come in and out transact you, but they cannot outbrand you.
Yeah.
from a local level, or at least it takes a lot more money than you would have to spend to do the same thing. Give you another quick example.
And January, by the way, was 45 years. This January, 45 years of being in business in this town.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. So it's you have to really get over that hurdle too.
A lot of people are going to have to die for you to not be memorable.
Right.
That's the only way you could kill a brand like that. Another quick example. If you don't want to take the musical or beep route, I have a jeweler who is very well respected. I mean, it's everything you would expect a jeweler to be. Polished, amazing store, 60-year company, and he has since taken over the company from his dad. And we convinced him. He had when he was like 20, trying to convince his dad to let him in the business. He went and got a tattoo of a diamond just to prove how serious he was about being in business with his dad, because his dad didn't take him seriously. And that was the thing. There was a story he was just telling us at lunch one day. Oh, yeah. And then I was like, really? You have a tattoo? I'm like, prove it. Takes his shirt off in the meeting, shows us the tattoo. And I'm like, that's going on TV. Now,
Where was the tattoo on his body?
we can't say. No. It was on his,
I'm imagining
it was on
him
his shoulder.
opening his chest. Oh, it's on his shoulder.
It was on his shoulders. And it was well done. He's not like it wasn't a cringy tattoo. But and we never, of course, we never showed him with a shirt off. That would be ludicrous. That would be irresponsible, possibly. But we did tell the story, and I'm not kidding you. Hundreds, if not thousands, of people within weeks came in asking to see the tattoo.
I love it.
That's a guy that's real. It's like he got that's an origin story, and so you have that. You have that quirky thing in your past. You have that character saying, you have those one-liners, you have the jokes that your grandpa told you that make you who you are, and just let people see that.
Yeah.
And do it consistently without expecting them to run in. Just wait a minute. Just wait 6 to 12 months and you'll start to feel it. 18 months, you'll go, yeah, this is really big. And then 2 or 3 years into most campaigns like that, you are stealing market share at double-digit rates.
Beautiful.
So we're going to wrap up here in just a moment. I always end our episode by asking our audience a question. And yeah, my question is this: are you making your marketing fun? Not just for you, but for your customers.
Is it memorable?
Are your customers enjoying? They're already seeing and hearing you. Are they enjoying it? If not, then reach out to us at Business Builders Mentor Mastermind, BBMMUSA.com, or call Brandon. Or Brandon, what is the best way for them to reach you?
You know what? We have a weekly podcast. There's a tenet to just attach to that thing you just said. Here's the thing you can take to the bank. If your ads are not bringing smiles, fists, or tears, they're falling on deaf ears. That's a core tenet of our work here. That's a
smiles, fists, or tears.
Smiles, fists, or tears. Make them laugh, cry, or get angry, right? If you're not sure how to do that with your business, we teach that on our podcast, the Maven Marketing Podcast, every week. I and one of my team members will teach you how we're doing that with other campaigns. And then we'll teach you how to buy the media in a responsible way, and then measure it, and then how to get through the periods of time where you're not confident in marketing to where it's like undeniably making you money. So we teach that on the Maven Marketing Podcast. We also have a mastermind group if you want to specifically workshop marketing. And it's like a couple $100 a month, and you can come on with our team every other week, and we just workshop your stuff. And you can get to that at mavenmethodtraining.com, or email us at mavenmonday@frankandmaven.com. Big on the Maven around here. That's the name of our company, is Frank and Maven. So, and then lastly, if you want to get a copy of our book, The Maven Marketer, you can find it on Amazon, and that's our playbook. That's we break down how to do this stuff and share a bunch of stories of where it's worked for really awesome entrepreneurs, not unlike your audience. So
I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Smiles, fists, or tears, folks. What emotions are you evoking with your marketing? And if you're not getting smiles, fists, or tears, let's reevaluate. Reach out to our friend Brandon, reach out to us. And and on a side note,
Uncle Jerry.
Uncle Jerry, right? Go to BBMMUSA.com. We have our annual event, Money Freedom Legacy, coming up the end of March. This is 2026. We hold it in Austin, Texas, an amazing campus. Everything's included, food, lodging, etc. Come there and we will help you change your life for the better.
Everyone has or wishes they had a rich uncle. Well, come and let Jerry be your rich uncle that weekend.
He's very rich and he's a very good uncle. I can promise you. So
well, you're kind.
Thank you guys. It's truly an honor to be here and talk about this stuff with you because it's important. And one thing that's true about us, and I know it's true for you, we're just unreasonably excited about the little guys.
Yes, it's what we do and why we do it.
It's what we're passionate
we
about.
We know that small business works too hard to be this broke.
We are the heart. We are the heart of America. Yeah, and we work too hard to be this broke.
You work too hard to be this broke, and chances are you're missing one tiny little thing that an extra set of eyes or two will help you uncover it. Yes. And until then, we'll see you next time. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Brandon, you are awesome. We love you. And let's do it again.
Yeah, we will. Absolutely. Talk to you guys soon.
Grow and get answers to your business and investment questions that provide clarity, move you forward, and inspire you to reach your goals. Share the show and connect with us at BBMMUSA.com to submit questions and learn more. That's BBMMUSA.com.